What's up? What's up? Can you guys hear me okay? So we are going to be live streaming Meta and Microsoft's earnings. You don't have to lower it. I'll be speaking a lot, so it'll all be good. I actually want to hear the game. It'll be quite boring over here. But what's up? What's up? How you guys doing? Let me go ahead and pull it up here. Paying attention to the NASDAQ market and a huge rip up right before the close. I'm sure a lot of you guys are seeing this already. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at. Here we go. We have NASDAQ with a huge rip up. NASDAQ is officially in the green for no reason after reporting a negative GDP for the first quarter of 2025. One more quarter would support the case that technically we are officially in a recession. But again, markets do not care. Markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. It's a very famous quote. One thing that I want to quickly talk about is, again, Microsoft and Meta are about to report earnings, so it doesn't matter if the markets are pushing up right now. All that matters is how is Microsoft and Meta going to report versus market expectation. It could pump as much as it wants, and that's great for day traders, but if you're not a day trader and you're buying at these levels and then we end up seeing a sell-off, then you simply got yourself into a bull trap, right? So just a simple question to ask yourself. We got Meta with a nice rip up. It's currently down 1.22% during normal trading hours. And that's quite the recovery because at one point it was down to lows of 529 and now trading at highs of 547. So a huge push to say the least. The next one that I want to pull up very quickly is, of course, Microsoft. This one's officially in the green with a huge push up about 0.5%. And this is insane because at one point it was at lows of 388, and this is a 3% push for one of the most valuable companies that's publicly traded at a $2.95 trillion market cap. So here it goes. We got 4 minutes left until markets officially close. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Can you guys hear me and see me okay? Solid. We got it right here for those that are tuning on in for the first time. Again, Microsoft's earnings expectation, EPS is $3.23, revenue is $68.5 billion. And then we have Microsoft with the earnings EPS of $5.24, pretty big, and $41.4 billion in revenue is what's forecasted. What actually gets reported is now a different story. So we shall see. There we go. All right. What do you guys think? Bullish or bearish? You think markets should be recovering, or do you guys think that the markets are getting ahead of themselves and just being stubborn? Pokemon bullish. We got Vincent in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. Are you selling day trader muscle shirts? No, we used to sell these on Shop Tech Buds. It's the fourth link in the description down below. We don't sell them anymore. We have some tank tops, but not this one. It was like a drop. We sold out. And we never brought it back. Inside trading happening in real time. I know that's always what I think, but again, I think it's the market just getting ahead of itself. People want to get in right before markets are set to report. It's a really big earnings, right? Meta and Microsoft. Microsoft at a $2.94 trillion market cap. And then Meta's not a small company, $1.38 trillion. Meta has had an insane come up from lows of $87 at the lows of 2022. Like, look at that. If you really think about that, that's an insane recovery. Do you guys remember when Meta was investing into the metaverse? Absolute waste of money, right? But that's why it took a nosedive. But it's gained 400%. Even with this retracement, it's gained 400%. A lot of people don't like Mark Zuckerberg, but again, I mean, he knows how to run Meta, to say the least, right? At least it looks like it. 586% return from lows of 2022 to highs of 2025. So not bad, right? Here we go. Tesla showing signs of a slight retracement. NASDAQ showing signs of a slight resistance here. Obviously pushed up an incredible amount within a short period of time. We have a few seconds left before market closes. A friendly reminder for those that are tuning on in for the first time, if you do not want to be exposed to the market's volatility during extended hours on when these companies report earnings, then do something about your position now or forever hold your peace. You can't predict the future, but you could always prepare in advance. So when in doubt, never be afraid to cash out. Just a quick little heads up. If you want to risk it for the biscuit, be my guest. Holy smokes. It's already dropping. Look at that. Microsoft is going to close red. It just gave back 1%. Oh my goodness. Okay, wait. All right. Look at that retracement. Did NASDAQ pull back too? A little bit, not as much. That was a crazy, like think about that. Think about that. You buying over here at highs of 396 just for it to retrace to 391. I mean, in long-term perspective, not much of a difference. As a day trader, that's a pretty big move for a $1 trillion company. This is why I like hosting the live streams, is because we're able to watch it together. Again, friendly reminder, if you're a beginner, there's nothing wrong with you just sitting back and watching the market react. You do not have to partake. And look at that. What's going on here? Wait, we're up? It's up. It's up 2%, 2.4, 1.5, 3%. Microsoft looks good. 3.4. It's retracing so hard on the pullbacks. Just be careful. Again, if you want to take the trade, if you want to take the risk, there's nothing wrong with it. Just understand it's a very volatile market, so it comes with the territory. It's up 4.7%. It looks like it exceeded expectation. This should cause NASDAQ market to gap up during extended hours. And now we wait for Meta. 5% after market hours. That's what we've hit highs of so far. 4.5, 4.7%. We're at 4% right now. We're at 4.11. 5.2%. Holy smokes. Did it report? I don't see it on... Oh, wrong one. Come on. No. Mine's still taking time to upload. 6% push. Huge push. This is huge for Google. This is huge for the NASDAQ market as well. This is really good. My only question is, will it hold? Do you guys remember when Google reported earnings? It pumped up, it peaked, and then it began to retrace. I'm not saying that that's going to happen again today. I'm just making you aware of what has happened in the past before. Google exceeded expectations for both earnings per share and for revenue. So when in doubt, if this was a trade, never be afraid to cash out if that was your intention. If you still plan to hold and you want to continue to hold because it's a long-term play, I respect that. Again, then that's not technically for you then, right? Here we go. Big beat. A 2.29% beat on revenue, 7.12% on EPS. So let's go ahead and share this. There it goes, 6% in the green. Microsoft is holding very, very well. What do you guys think about that? Micro hard, Jesus, man, you guys are wild. NASDAQ is reacting in a positive. What? Here we go. Meta's next. Meta's next. What do you guys got? Bullish or bearish? Hood earnings as well. I don't really trade Robinhood. Robinhood's a little bit too volatile for me. But how did it do? I'll pull it up. Yeah, I talked about it. It's up 1%. Cool. Is that after reporting earnings? It's out? And it only pushed up 1.5%? That doesn't seem very real. It's pretty lame, no?
Yeah, I got the window pricing down to 240. I was like 240, fuck it, whatever.
Here we go. We got Meta still pushing in the green. Robinhood is not out yet. Okay, so it's just taking it into consideration in advance. There we go. 4.2%. Dang, Mark Zuckerberg is a happy man. Up 5% in the green. Wait, it's retracing. It's retracing. No way. No way. No way it goes red. No way it goes red. That is a huge move. It retraced all the way back to break even. Be careful here. It looks weak. Let's see if it holds.
Okay, I'm adding it up.
Pumping. Pumping. Look at that volume.
And then 1,500 for any cost. 16.
Here it goes. Pushing. Pushing. Let's see if it's going to make new highs. 580. 580. Watch for the retracement. No way it gets it. No way it actually sells off. What do you guys think? Retracement down 4%? You think so? I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So then the exhaust fan was 1,500, and then the ridge fan was like an extra 6 or something. So 16. So we're at 25,587.72. 587.72 cents. Yep, that's fine.
There we go. Closing. When in doubt, cash out.
And the ridge vent, that's extra.
Let's keep it light early on. I want to see if we could rip up a little bit higher. Meta is a money printer. I agree. Again, please do not copy me. Unlike other people, I'm not here to encourage you to take the same trades as me. This is an incredibly risky trade. So please understand that and respect that. I see some pullback potential. It looks like Meta is losing some of its momentum. So I'm just working with it. Okay, that's all. Please do not copy me. If you're long, stay long on your position. My trade is not your trade. Okay. Watch for support here. Still an ascending support. Want to see if it breaks it. Again, this thing was up 5 to 6%. There it goes. Nice push. Beautiful. Look, Yamal. Oh.
All right, and then, hey, what about this Rex guy?
How are we looking?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with another short 25 shares right around 563.50. It's up 2.5%. See if we rip back up.
Yep.
Come on, come on. Let's see what Meta actually reported, right? Meta earnings are out. Beautiful. Definitely beat earnings per share. Wow, that's a huge beat. Let me share this with the team. Revenue was also exceeded EPS, way bigger of a surprise, 22.7%. Revenue beat by 2%. Not bad. Let me share it here. A friendly reminder, again, if you guys ever want access to our daily live trading sessions, I go live every single morning right at market open, and you get access to all the trade updates. You don't have to join, right? You could just subscribe to us here on YouTube. It's free on YouTube. But again, if you're an absolute beginner and you learn best by watching other people do, I do host daily live sessions, but they are private just for our LPP team. It is designed for complete beginners. And just so you know, the second link, if you refresh the video, it's the biggest discount link that we offer. So it's about 50% off, and it makes it break down to about $1 a day if you end up joining LPP. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access. But again, if you were to break down the cost for a year, which again, it's not a yearly subscription, it's just a one-time payment, but it breaks down to $1 a day. So if you ever want to check it out, second link in the description down below. The link will be live until the end of tonight, and then I'll deactivate it. So doing another 25 shares short, opening here at 569.50. Still pushing up, so direction is still bullish. Looks like Microsoft is already beginning to peak, showing slight signs of a resistance. We'll see if it ends up making new highs. I'm not charging, no. How terrible would that be? Would it not save any of it? Not bad. Enough to piss you off. True. Having Ricky's voice over my when in doubt cash out loans with Jennifer, he cracked me up. Tesla's dropping. Not really. Tesla's pretty much break even right now, especially with how it actually is showing signs of an ascending reversal. So Tesla's the most insane one, right? Like at least these companies, Microsoft, Meta, actually reporting good earnings, better than what is expected, especially during like a very uncertain time. I wonder how their guidance is going to look. A quick little reminder. A lot of the people that are tuning in maybe for the first time don't know that there's the earnings report, which is what we just experienced. But sometimes there's a second wave of either buying pressure or selling pressure, and that's because of the guidance call. That's when executives come on the line and they talk about the previous quarter and quarters that come to follow, right? What's the expectation? Do they see any uncertainty with current political issues, right? Or geopolitical issues? So, but with something like Meta and something like Google, obviously not as impacted as maybe something like, Tesla or Amazon. A little bit of a different type of business. All right. About to make new highs. Up 5%. Watch for those new highs. Microsoft about to retest as well. Tesla's going for that break even. Showing slight signs of a resistance, not confirmed yet.
Yeah, I mean, however, Eric, however you want to run it or do that, I really don't care. So, teamwork makes the dream work here, Doug. All we're doing is trying to get more deals.
Just adding another 25 shares, right? Keeping it light at these overbought levels. We could step on the gas when direction's more favorable. Appreciate that, Jonathan. Thank you, man. I really do. Meta to 600. Meta is very close to 600. I just want to remind you, right? Long term, like this is the way that I like to kind of explain it. Long term, Meta, Google, Apple, Microsoft, like these are very well-ran companies. If the only reason they're truly selling off is because of the trade war news and the entire markets are falling, then that's just the negative catalyst for the entire market. It might affect these companies in the short term, but long term, technically speaking, they should still be good. Companies that might see actual internal changes, right? Maybe a company like Tesla. Tesla with its earning reports of what it's releasing, it's not doing well as a company. It's not exceeding expectation. It's not growing. Fundamentally, the company is struggling. That's not a fact. That's not an opinion. It's a fact, right? So just a different way to not just look at the charts. I'm huge on technical analysis. I love it. Obviously, we do it every single day. But again, I'm always here to remind yourself to not be afraid to challenge yourself. It's also important during downturns to educate yourself on the fundamentals of what's driving these companies up or down and the longevity behind it. Is Tesla just pumping up for a short period of time before it sells off again? Because again, internally, it's struggling as a company. So just questions to ask yourself as these companies quickly catapult to new highs or begin to sell off. Try to make sense of what is happening. Is this, a long-term catalyst or a short-term catalyst? Can't wait for MSTR earnings. MSTR unfortunately doesn't care about earnings. If anything, for Q1, their unrealized loss won't impact the stock very much. It's all based off of Bitcoin's performance, but I'm sure your comment was just as a joke. Ricky, can you look at NVIDIA? Of course. NVIDIA is up 2%, 2.6%. Looks like, again, it had a positive catalyst, right, as we see that Microsoft and Meta react in a positive way. Looks like NVIDIA is following in its footsteps. Google has seen a push, but obviously not as great. And Apple pumped, but then corrected itself. Apple is, in my opinion, one of the least overreactive stocks. I don't know if it's because of its market cap, but Apple does not really care. Very rarely does it get heavily influenced by other companies. Apple stays in its lane. I almost pay attention to Apple as to see what Apple is doing, because I feel like people who are invested in Apple are actually in it for the long haul, because it reacts so differently than a lot of these other more hyped up companies. Do you get what I mean? Apple sits at a $3.19 trillion market cap, and it is not as reactive, which I kind of respect, right? Look at this. Hood went from being up 2%, right, all the way down to $46. It does not look like Hood is doing too good. Microsoft looks overbought. It's just my 2 cents, just my opinion. Do not initiate a trade just because of what I'm saying. But again, this thing is up 5.5%. It looks incredibly overbought. Understanding the negative sentiment that's being injected into the market, if you're trading, my intention would be to take profits, make that money, and bounce. Just my 2 cents. If you're invested, then you shouldn't be celebrating this uptick, just like you shouldn't be down on yourself if it downturns, right? Because you're in it for the long haul. Your timeline is different than a trader. When it comes down to Meta, it's not bad. Nice little pullback. You won't go broke by locking in profits, friends. I like that, Oleg. It's a great reminder for a lot of our beginners, right? Obviously, we're not here to encourage you to sell if you don't want to. We're just here to remind you that in a market full of chaos, being greedy as a trader is not a good habit to instill early on. But again, if you want to hold and that was your intention and you're invested in it, nothing wrong with that. We're not here to convince you otherwise. No one should be encouraging you to sell if that was not your original intention. How do you trade after hours? I have a video about it, but again, it's super simple. You cannot buy with market orders, you buy with limit orders. So again, I do trade on Webull, which allows you to trade during extended hours. If you guys want to download Webull, they have a sign up bonus right now. It's the 5th link in the description of this video. You can refresh it if you don't see it. It is a referral link. I like to make sure that you're aware of that. So you earn, I think, 20 free shares and I earn 1 free share. So it's a win-win for both of us. You could sign up, you can have more than one trading platform and see if you like it. But the way that you initiate it is, let's say that I have an active short position on Meta right now, right, that I opened up. If I wanted to cover it and execute a trade during extended hours, the way that you cover a short is you buy to cover. So I would use a limit order. I would put, 100 shares. I make sure that the limit price is where I want it. So let's say that it's at 555, right? I make sure that extended hours is turned on. and then I can go ahead and click buy Meta. So if I go ahead and click here, it puts my limit order and it will fulfill itself during those extended hours. I hope that makes sense. And vice versa. If I go to sell or if I go to short, it's the same concept. It's just a limit order, not a market order. Make sense? There's a lot of indicators that I personally do not use. If you find them to be useful, I am no one to convince you otherwise that you should not use them, right? I prefer to use less indicators. Sometimes even for a lot of our beginners, I mean, I'll use the RSI, I'll have the MACD, but I'm not always actually trading off of it. Sometimes I just like to use it as a reference, never as a sole reason on why to initiate a trade. But good question. So no, I don't use all of the indicators that you guys are asking me about. But again, who cares what I do? If you find it useful for the stocks that you trade or invest in, and you actually find it useful, that's all you need. You don't need to emulate what I'm doing or what other people are doing. The whole point I hope that you take from like watching other, because I'm sure I'm not the only person you watch, is cherry pick the qualities and best practices you like from me, from other people, and build your own style of trading. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't try to copy someone, move by move and by indicator and we're all wired in different ways. We all see value in different ways. Embrace that, right? My chart is not moving after market hours. Simon, I think you got some booty internet. I don't know if your extended hours are turned on. Make sure your EXT is turned on during extended hours, okay? Microsoft, let's go. Yeah, Microsoft is still consolidating, no progress. Let me ask you guys this, for all those that are part of LPP. When there is no indication of progress on the upside and a stock is overbought, what is that normally a sign of? What does that mean? If a stock is overbought and it's showing signs of consolidation and signs of a possible resistance, and you have an open trade, not an investment, but an open trade, no, it's not that you need to short it, but it's that, hey, it's lacking progress on the upside, and any position that's open, it's open to risk. Again, if I'm seeing, it would not be the worst idea to either maybe size down. What the heck? No. To size down or to not be afraid to close out the position when it makes sense. Remember, you're never going to have a perfect trade. Your entry and your exit's never going to be perfect, but the idea is not to be perfect. The focus should just be to get in, get out, make some money, and bounce. Possible signs of an ascending support here for Meta. Watching Champions League, is that what this game is?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It is.
Yeah. Watching our boy Lamine Yamal, right? I'm not a big soccer guy, right, or a football guy. But I bought my first jersey. Actually, if you're part of LPP, I have 2 jerseys. I intended to buy it only 2 different jerseys, the original Barcelona one and like that green one. The green one came in the Lamine Yamal. He's like this really young kid doing really well. And obviously, I love hyping people up. So I like his style of a player. And then I got a second one, but it ended up not being his jersey. I got someone else's jersey, I guess. But yeah. Yamal is the next GOAT. I like it. I'm not perfect. I'll stay cash 24/7. I like that.
Damn it, dude. Another corner kick. Cool.
Not happy. It's just personal capital, dude. Don't you have a Manchester United jersey? No. That was my cousin Ismail is really big into soccer. So when we were in Manchester, we went to one of their games, but he took so many shirts of what he had, and I just borrowed one of his.
Oh, because you were wearing one of it,
Yeah. Analyze Amazon. There's not much to analyze as of right now. Everything's being influenced by current earnings. So really big gap up, obviously, as big tech just reported earnings, acted as a positive catalyst, driving markets up higher. If if I'm not mistaken, we have. Don't we have? Yeah. Tomorrow, Apple and Amazon reporting earnings. I'm not going to be able to go live for that one, unfortunately, but it should be interesting. There it goes. Meta still trying to rip up. We're going to have to wait for the guidance call and see how it actually ends up panning out. I don't want to add more to the position, especially when direction is not in my favor right now. Yeah. All right. Ricky, how do you feel about United Healthcare? UNH?
Oh my god.
They just scored again? Oh, dude, look. 3-3.
That's crazy.
Holy, high-scoring game.
That was quick, too.
Yeah. So UNH was a very well-ran company. It looks like it is seeing a really nice retracement. If you can tolerate that, then great. If you cannot, I would look into more of the fundamentals if something began to change to drive the price down. But it looks like something definitely is having a negative toll on this company. Because again, it's been incredibly bullish for a long period of time. It is incredibly oversold technically, but fundamentally, what if there's a reason on, the reason UNH is actually, is it an assist from Yamal?
No, he dummied it.
Oh.
But it doesn't count as assist right now.
Okay. But definitely, I can see why you're entertaining it. I can see why you're asking questions about it. I would encourage you to learn more about it. And whatever you learn, feel free to share it with me. I would love to learn more about it. And maybe I can make a video about it. I just know it would trigger a lot of people because if it would make it for a good investment and it's a short-term negative catalyst, again, people just wouldn't want to invest in a company that is so controversial as of right now after the assassination. So, yeah. But I'm open to it. I'd entertain the idea of a video. Do you think Hood is bullish or bearish? Didn't Robinhood pull back? I think Robinhood is doing extremely well while market conditions are still favorable. As soon as we begin to enter in any way a form of a downturn or recession, I think overvalued companies such as Robinhood will see more of a negative catalyst. I mean, if you think about how large and significant this pullback was, it lost over half of its value during its most recent downturn. That's not to scare you, but it's like when you see a company lose 50% of its value within a short period of time, that is just to express how hyped up it is and how overvalued it is. It's not that you should be afraid to put money into it. It's just you're just paying a premium for it. And you have to understand that. If you don't understand that and you still put money into it, then on those retracements, you're just going to feel very shitty. And just be honest with yourself. There's nothing wrong with taking advantage of a risky stock as long as you acknowledge it and your position size respects that. Make sense? All right. How many of you guys, I wanted to ask you guys very quickly. Well, again, let me do a quick little recap. Microsoft reported earnings. We're still waiting for the guidance call. Exceeded expectations for earnings per share and revenue. Same thing for Meta. A lot of consolidation up here. It's already up about 6%. We'll see during the earnings call if it has a second wave or if it begins to downturn. Meta is another company that reported earnings, also beat earnings, EPS expectation and revenue. A lot of consolidation, struggling to surpass $580 per share. We'll see if it continues to uptrend or begins to downturn. I want to remind you, there's nothing wrong with a positive catalyst that drives the price up. Overall sentiment is still bearish for the market. That is not to scare you. It's not to encourage you to sell. It's just there to be present so you're not surprised if markets do begin to downturn. A quick little reminder, right? So just as quick as they ran up, if they begin to sell off based off of negative news and negative sentiment, again, you cannot be surprised because you should understand that. There's short-term positive catalysts and long-term negative or positive catalysts, and you just have to understand the overall market sentiment as of now is still uncertain based off of what's going on with our trade war and, of course, the tensions between the Federal Reserve not budging and cutting interest rates. I'll make sure that I do my part in keeping you guys up to date. The thing that I wanted to remind you and say thank you for is for all those that are part of my close friends channel on Instagram. I know I posted a link about 24 hours ago. It lasted about 3 to 4 minutes. We gave some free day trader hoodies away. We plan to continue to do so. So again, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I think it's the 3rd or 4th link in the description down below. We're always doing just different things for the people that follow me in this Close Friends channel. I'm not here to say that we're always going to be giving away free hoodies, but again, it's definitely something to be a part of if you like my updates. If you don't like my updates, then probably don't join the free Close Friends channel. So I appreciate your time. I hope that earned a thumbs up. If you ever have any questions, feel free to message me via Instagram, and just be aware of all these fake accounts that pretend to be me. The only service that I offer is my LPP team. They get to watch me trade live every day. And if you want to join, it's the 2nd link in the description down below. Also, for our TechBids apparel, we are doing a bunch of wall art sales. Promo code BOGO. It's BOGO. You can buy one wall art. You get the second one for free. You just enter that promo code at checkout. You'll buy one, and you'll get the second one for free. Just make sure that you add both wall arts and you add it to your cart, so then the discount applies. You need to make sure that you add both wall arts. So again, that's at shoptechbuds.com or the 4th link in the description down below. I appreciate your time. Hope that we're in a thumbs up. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.